So a while ago, I got this item to install and review from CTMods or Test Studio. This is the swivel mount for the Tesla Cybertruck. So you can't really tell right now, but the screen is a little lower than the factory installed one. And it has the ability now to tilt up, tilt forward, tilt left, right. Okay, and you can tilt it like that and back. And the nice thing with this, as you can see how my flash is kind of glaring on there. So you can see as you tilt the screen, you can make the glare go a different way. Also, my screen has an anti-glare thing on it. So it would be a lot worse if you didn't have that on. So you can see how the tilting makes that a lot nicer. You can also adjust it for if you're watching video or movies or something when you're parked, for your passengers and things like that. One complaint that a lot of people had was that the swivel mount, it lowers it a little bit, so it's no longer as high. I let CTMods or Test Studio know that I prefer it to be higher. As you can see, there's all this dash space where if the thing was like this much higher, it still wouldn't block my view, but it would give me a lot better view of like the backup signal, or the backup camera and the or the rear view camera and the left turn, right turn signals, right? So as you see, if you tilt it backwards and then to the left, you have even more room because now it can tilt even further back. So you can add probably a good, maybe three inches or so. So Test Studio or CTMods came out with a new design. They said it raises it up a bit. We'll see how much. I'm not sure if it's going to be higher than the original factory one or about the same or what. But they sent me one to test it out. We'll see how it goes. So this isn't going to be a video with the original disassembly. If you don't have one of these already installed, then you'll want to watch my first video where I show how I installed this one, because on that video I showed how to take out the original. So in this, you're going to see how to take out this swivel mod and upgrade to the new one. So let's go ahead and open the box and take a look. Alright, so this is the box it came in. Okay, so it, as you can see, rotates 40 degrees in either direction. And let's go ahead and open it up. Okay, so they have this installation manual and video here, which I don't know if I'll need that, but I guess we'll find out. Warnings and disclaimers here. Okay. Alright. Make sure you have all the pieces before installing. Then they got another QR code here, designed by Test Studio. There's their official website. Also, I do have a discount code, which I'll put in the description below. I believe it's itsbin, all caps. But here you go, 1-year warranty. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look what we got inside. I heard things shaking around. I likely won't need to install this cable because I already installed one for the previous screen swivel mount. So we'll see. I'm assuming the tools and everything are the same, but you can see there's a pry tool here. You got multiple Allen wrenches. You got the zip ties and another little socket wrench thing here. Okay, with 2 sides for the socket, and then a bunch of different bolts and stuff here. So we'll see. I wonder if those are going to be the same or similar. Okay, then we got this. Let me unbag these real quick and I'll be back. Alright, so here we go. This is the new swivel mount. Then we got this. There's 2 plastic cover pieces. So there's this one. And then I think that's for the back of the screen itself. And then you got this piece here, which this covers that, I forgot what this is for. I think it's like a ambient air sensor or something like that. Okay. Anyways, that's under the screen. So yeah. Alright, so I have a feeling the installation of this is going to be exactly the same as the original one. The only difference is the hinge mount makes it higher. So if I do see any differences between the 2 components, I will show you that. But for now, we're just going to look at the height. So I put the steering wheel flat so that way you can see how it's the screen's a little bit lower than the top of this, as you can see. Okay, so obviously depending on how you're looking at it, your point of view, but you can see how it's almost the same height. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and install the new one, and then I will show you guys if there's anything different. I will show you that before I install it. All right, so I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, so here you can see the back of the screen. The bracket is different. So this has like a different little shape cut out here. You can see this one is solid and I had to route the cable this way. So the design actually makes it easier to route the cable out. And then you have the other cutout there. So this part up to here is about the same. Then it no longer has this like little round cutout here. It's solid here. And then we got that. So I'm going to have to take this bracket out and then migrate or install the new one. Okay? Alright, so the best way I found to remove this, basically first you got to remove that. So go ahead and kind of pull that away, up that way, and up. Okay? And then to remove this, because if you look back here, there's basically these little things that clip in. Okay? So those clip in there. So basically we want to pull those clips away. So what I found is if you kind of pinch this together and kind of pull, you see how now it kind of popped up. Okay, we're going to try and do the same thing on this side. Basically wiggling and pulling. I might need two hands for this, so maybe I need to put this on a tripod. Give me a second. Alright, so here you go. Make sure this side is down, okay? And then we'll use two hands to pinch this as hard as we can and pull it up, okay? It's going to be a little tricky. And there we go. Okay, so now we got this out. Let's go ahead and work on removing this from the back of the screen. Okay, so to remove this from the back of the screen, as you can see, there's this orange thing here. Let me see if I can show you guys this. Alright, so this orange thing, you actually need to pull this up, just like that. Make sure both sides go up. And now we have this little clip that we can click. So push that in, and while you're pushing that in, you should be able to pull the cable out. Okay, so again, make sure the orange thing is up. Pinch that clip in, and then pull that cable out. There we go. So let me see if I can show you close up now how this cable works. You can see when you push this, it basically lowers the two things here that help hold it in place. Okay, so there we go. We can slide off the original one that we installed. Okay, again, this is from the first version where the screen is a little bit lower. I'm going to set that aside for now. We will get the other one, but actually let's go ahead and take a look at these parts first. So I'm going to take this one out and I'm going to compare those two, because if these two are different, then I'm going to have to install the new ones as well. Alright, so these are also definitely different. So I got this out. I had to take the two bolts back out. But basically, if you look at this one, let me see. I need to put this back up safely so I can show you the difference. Give me a second. Okay, so basically you can see this cut out here. Alright, so this, they don't have the part in the front, so it's cut out completely. Obviously you have this piece because this will go on top of it, so this is going to end up going into here. Can't do this with one hand, but this will basically go into there. Okay, like that, and then this will snap into place. I don't want to snap it now because then it's going to be very difficult to take back out. I'm not 100% sure, but these two pieces, this and the one from the first version, might be about the same, but I'm going to swap them out just in case. Okay, the material, you can see this is more of a glossy and this is more matte. I'm not sure if that really matters. It's going to be behind the screen, you won't really see it, so shouldn't really be an issue or shouldn't really affect anything. And then obviously we have the hinge, which I'll pull this out first and then I'll compare it. But let me unscrew the little thermal sensor. That thermal sensor is what tells what the ambient temperature inside the vehicle is. Alright, so I'm going to take this out and I'll be back. Alright, so these were the two that were holding the screen in place. These were the two holding the hinge in place. So it does, the new one does come with these. So these are the version 2 screws that came with it. You can see how it has this that basically holds it in place when you tighten it down. And the original ones don't. I think these are the original ones that might have came with the Tesla, although it does use the same hex key to undo them. This one also has the hex key thing, but I think this uses a smaller size. So in the new set, it comes with this one, and it also comes with a smaller one here. So this smaller one, which I think is for these new bolts. Let me check. And yes, I was right. They're for the smaller ones for these bolts. One thing I noticed is the threads are a little bit shorter, so we'll see. I don't know if these replace those, but we'll find out. I think they do, unless it adds, unless we need 3 sets of screws. These are from the thermal sensor. Here's what the thermal sensor looks like inside. And yeah, it's like a little glass bead. They have this, oh, actually, I just noticed there's a little fan there. You see that? So there's a little fan spinning and blowing the air, the ambient air from there onto the sensor. Pretty cool. I never knew that. Maybe I should brush that. You see how dusty that is? Give me a second. Alright, anyways, I cleaned off the dust, as you can see, from the sensor. I can't really clean the fan itself because it's spinning. I don't know if there's... Well, I guess the way you can turn it off is if you unplug the whole thing, but that's alright. I mean... Alright, I think what it does is it actually sucks the air into here and then blows it out the sides. So that's how it gets the ambient air temperature. Alright, so it looks like the original from version 1 and the version 2 look to be exactly the same shape and everything. So you can probably just transfer over if you've installed the first one already. Because yeah, it's pretty much the same. Again, this plastic is a little more glossy. This one's a little more matte. If that matters to you, you can use this one. But then it won't match up with the new bracket. So let me show you the difference with those. Alright, again, this is the old version. You can see, looks like that. And here's the new one. You can see how it has this bigger cutout opening. And then this, how that sensor attaches is pretty much exactly the same. So yeah, internally I think it's about the same, but other than the larger cutout, okay, probably for more swivel access since it needs to go higher, it's pretty much about the same. Alright, so let's set aside the old one and we'll get the new one installed. Okay, the cable here seems to be exactly the same, with the same kind of, you see how it has that shape to it, the top corners has a slight cut in the corner. That's so you make sure it goes right side up, okay? And it's the same as the old one. What I did with the zip ties, I didn't use them the way they said. They pretty much wanted you to zip tie this onto this piece. But what I did instead was I used both zip ties together. I need to actually cut this excess off. But I used them both together to crisscross like this. So that way this is impossible to pull apart. Because on the original design, it had this little clip thing. Okay, and that held the two pieces together. But because it was changed to have this extension, then it's basically just plugged into this long thing, and the rubber here kind of has enough friction that it doesn't pull apart. Although if you kind of just pull on it slowly, it can come out. So that's why I did this with the 2 zip ties that were included. Honestly, since this one came with 2 new zip ties, I might actually zip tie that the other way, crisscross, but I don't know. I think 1 is good enough. You don't really need, these 2 zip ties that are held together cross like that is good enough. But if you really want, you can put another 2 zip ties to hold it like a X across. But I'm going to leave it that way. Alright, let's go ahead now and compare the 2 hinges. Alright, so here you can see the 2 hinge designs. Okay, as you can see, this one is just flat, while this one, it goes down a layer. So that's a little over an inch. I'd say maybe close to 1.5 inches. So if you were to look at this, how this goes in here, so it slides in like this, okay? And then the hinge mechanism's like this. So the thing is, this one, it doesn't come out as far, so the screen doesn't come out as far, and because of that, it lowers down, okay, to drop that. So this is the original hinge design, okay, and then the screws just go up through there. I'm not too sure why they included these new screws. Maybe the original one also included these screws and I don't remember. But I think these might be the original Tesla ones, like I said, because as you can see, the original bracket also had 2 screws go up into there. So anyways, we'll set that aside, and here's the new one. So the new one, it has these little things that prevent it from going too far, you can see. The other one, it uses the outer edges. You can see how it has this bigger outer edge piece here. So I think this design actually, I mean, it doesn't really benefit the user at all, but the design here, it's a nice choice because it uses less material. So for manufacturing, I can see why they would make that choice. This one has more metal that they gotta cut out. Although, you see here, this is thick here and then this is skinny. On this one, they just made it the same thickness all the way, but then it's hollow in here. So I'm not sure, I'm assuming this is cast. You can see how it has those circles. So those are usually like the vents to let the extra material kind of vent out, or the air vent out, so the material can go in all the way. So actually, I think that might use less material. And then because of that shape, it makes it very rigid, although I don't think you would ever break this. But there you go. Okay, so it fits in just like that. Now we just got to get the screws into here. Very nice design. And then you got the, oh, maybe the new screws go into this. You see how it has threading there? I don't know, we'll see. I don't know if they used a different, no, the threads look exactly the same. Huh. So, I don't know, interesting. We'll find out. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and reinstall this. Alright, so to get the plastic thing on, we'll first put this here. Next step is we gotta put this plastic cover on. So you slide this in like this. Okay, then it rotates over. Make sure these wires aren't in the way. Okay, we are going to have to obviously push that in later. So these 2 bottom things need to hook into that, and then we just click that in. If we do need to remove this, obviously like before, this will be kind of like stuck on there, well, I guess after you remove the bolts, but then this will be holding it there, so you won't be able to kind of just pull this thing off. You'll basically have to, like before, pull this whole thing forward, and then you'll have to undo the screws for this thing to separate it, or disconnect this cable, whichever way is easier for you, or whichever you want to do. Okay, but for now we're gonna go ahead and do this, and then I'm gonna get the 2 bolts in. Alright, hopefully this comes out clear. So basically this, like I said, we get this, make sure these wires are out of the way, rotate that in, make sure this is nice and flush. Okay, again, this wiring we are gonna have to kind of shove in there and then figure out how we want to put this in after with the screen. But for now we got this like that, and we're gonna put in the 2 bolts under here. Okay, so again, I am using the original Tesla bolts, but you can, it does come with 2 other ones that use smaller screws, or the smaller Allen wrench or hex key, whatever you call that. Okay, so we'll get that screw in loosely, and we'll get this screw in loosely, and then we'll use the Allen wrench thing to tighten it in. Okay, so make sure these are pushed in all the way. Make sure this isn't wobbling anywhere. Okay, make sure that looks good on both sides. Okay, so I just want to make sure everything is pushed in as much as possible. And now we'll go ahead and tighten this. Okay, and then we'll tighten this side. So actually in this case, having the slightly longer screws might be a good thing, because there's the extra plastic material that is also holding it. So this is already very stiff, but I'm going to use it in this L mode just to make it so I can tighten it even more. So that means if we tighten this, if we tighten these, it's going to eat into the plastic here, which I don't really like that. I don't know. I mean, it will hold stronger to make sure it doesn't come loose from vibration or anything, but I don't think that it's going to come loose if you tighten it enough. It shouldn't be an issue. If you're worried that you can't tighten it enough, then you can go ahead and use the ones that came with it. But this should be good. Alright, so I'm just going to tighten these up a lot more. Make sure it's really hard to turn at all. And then we can attach the back piece onto the screen. Okay, so now we're getting to where it's very difficult to turn this at all. So that should mean that it's not going anywhere. Okay, I'll do a little bit more here. You don't want to go too crazy because you don't want to make it break through this plastic and then it's going to have nothing holding it. But there we go. Okay, there, that's really stiff. It's not really going to wiggle at all. That's nice. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and attach the other part to the screen. All right, as you see, we have the screen here. Okay, and this piece, basically we're just going to snap the two sides in and then clip this here. This cable we should be able to just plug in afterwards, and then once we plug it in, you just need to push the orange tab down so that way it locks that clip into place. All right, once we get all of that, we can see how it fits and then see how we can fit the thermal sensor. Okay, so we'll line this up. Make sure you don't put it upside down. Make sure you don't put it upside down like this. Okay, you do have this clip that needs to line up with this piece here. Okay, so line that up. Okay, make sure it's good, and then we're just going to push it down into place. Okay, push that down. There we go. All right, and I think it auto aligned itself. Also, I'm using the foam piece that came in the box on the cup holders just to help pad the screen so that it will keep it safe. If you want, you can put a towel or something there as well. Okay, so right now I'm gonna test fit the screen just to see, and yeah, most likely this piece here we're gonna have to tuck the larger portion inside, and we'll have to figure out how to get this piece. Again, we have to hook these two in. I'll see if I can show you guys that. All right, so this will probably be a little tricky. I have to kind of hold this up out of the way and then get this in. And to film this, I'm gonna have to hold the camera by hand because I don't think I can put the tripod there. So we're gonna lift this up. All right, again, we get the two bottom feet in. You do have to tilt this back so that way the sensor won't be hitting the hinge up there, or the mount. So let's see, how are we gonna do this? This is tricky. The other issue is this piece needs to go out towards the left. I'm wondering if it will be easier if I mount the screen first. So let me actually mount the screen first. All right, so we got the screen here. We need to plug this piece back in like before. So line this up. The cable, even with this extension, is a little bit short to where you kind of have to hold it over this gap. So make sure you don't drop the screen down there. All right, I'm resting it on my leg right now like this, so that way it will hold it up. And now we can go ahead and plug this guy in. Okay, just line it up. Make sure those edges, everything lines up. Click it in, there we go. And then we can go ahead and push the orange thing down. All right, now that we have that down, let's go ahead and just lift it, and then you basically will have this piece. So this will end up on top of the screen, and the screws will basically pull this up onto this. Okay, so let's lift this. One other thing, I put it in screen clean mode. If you're not sure how to do that, I'll show you in a bit, but let's go ahead and get this on and then I'll show you that. So we'll lift this up, and we just gotta get that lined up into there and over that. Oh, that's actually nice how the hinge hides it over here. Okay, I really like how that looks. And now the screen actually comes out more forward. Pretty cool, I like that. It's closer to you. If you don't like that, then maybe you'll like version number 1, which it keeps it further back. But this does also raise the screen up a bit. Okay, so anyways, let's go ahead and get these bolts in, and then, well, we'll see if we can do this. I don't know if you can see under there, so I'll have to figure that out after. So I'll put these bolts, that way I can tilt the screen back. That should give me more room. So basically, these bolts, I don't even know if I can see what I'm looking at here. Okay, but basically, oops, I don't think I'm even looking at the right place. Let me see if I can tilt the screen back. Well, no, I don't think I can. So we do need to put these bolts in first. So let me see. All right, here you can see the back of the screen, so we'll have to get the bolt up in there. So I'm going to put one in there and one on the other side, and then we'll tighten it up, and then I'll show you guys how to get these in. All right, so we got the screen installed. All right, part of the trick to getting the screws on there is you want to kind of wiggle this forward and backwards while you're trying to find out where it is to line up the screws. Since the screws aren't like pointy and it's just flat on top, it's hard to kind of make sure to line it up. And then you want to twist it backwards and hear it click so that the threads go into place, because you don't want the screw going in at an angle. So this is what it looks like. We'll figure out the other stuff in a bit. Let's go ahead and compare it. I need to put the steering wheel back in the same area it was before. So I'll raise that all the way up and all the way in. And you can see now, before, where it was kind of, let me actually, oops, give me a second. All right, so if you remember where the screen was before, it was just barely above this. Now you can see it's maybe raised up 3/4 of an inch or so. All right, I wouldn't say a full inch higher. I mean, from the steering wheel, it's about an inch higher, but I think the screen was slightly above it before, right? If I remember correctly, or was it the opposite way? But anyways, yeah, now it's even higher. And wow, look how much it tilts now. So it can tilt much further. You can almost use it as a table, not really, but it tilts way more. So if you were having issues with the sunlight before, then you won't have that issue now. The only thing with this one, because it's further out, it doesn't go all the way to the back. I mean, that's not really an issue, but it doesn't rotate until it touches this anymore because it sticks out further. So yeah, but that's crazy how much it can tilt back now, and it can tilt forward pretty much just to where it's flat. And I think that's how the original Cybertruck, the screen was kind of more flat, but further in. So one thing with this is now you have more space back here. So if you were using stuff where you were putting items back here, you had a tray with the original screen, keep in mind now it's going to have even more room back here that it might fall out or something. If you had a tray designed for the original Cybertruck, you might have to get a special tray designed for this new design, especially if you're going to be rotating your screen like this. Then if you had a Kleenex box or something here, if you rotate it, it might just fall out that way. So again, keep that in mind if you're using the swivel mount. Okay, but this is pretty nice. All right, I like the adjustable angles. Let's go ahead now, and since this tilts up so much, we should probably have a lot more room. Also, to find out how much cabling you need, it's probably a good idea to tilt it all the way back like that. And let's see here. So now we can see under there. Am I going to be able to get this in? You can see how under here the cutout for the screen is a lot nicer, or for the cable here. So you have a lot more room for the cable to move around. Okay, so we're gonna just shove that all the way up in there. It doesn't need to go on this side anymore like it used to. Okay, not like you can anymore, because this is too short to make it go that way. So it will have to come out from the top right hand side here, and now we just got to get this in. So again, push that in, line up the two bottom things here. Okay, get that lined up. It's a little tricky here, especially while trying to hold the camera, but it is what it is. Okay, give me a second. Let me see if I can mount this somehow. Okay, I had to get my tripod out of the way, but let's see here. So this will go like that. Again, it'll help to have two hands to be able to do this. Since I'm doing this with the camera trying to record, it'll be a bit more tricky. But you hook in these 2 feet, and once you do that, you should be able to just push the whole thing in to click it down. Maybe let me get those in first, and then I will show you just pushing it into place. Alright, as you can see, we got the bottom portions in. It does help to kind of get your finger behind and help push the bottom part down. But there you go. Now we should be able to just push this up and click it in. So it helps again to kind of pull this out at the same time. Oh, it's hard to do this with one hand, but basically pull this. Okay, And, okay, hold on. Alright. Let's see if I can do this. Pull it, come on. Wow, this is not as easy as I was thinking it would be. It might have been easier to attach this piece before I put all the screen in, but... Alright, let me see if I can get the camera on the tripod and then see if I can do it with 2 hands. Alright, I don't know how useful this will be because my hands will probably be in the way, but let's go ahead and see what we can do. Alright. So we'll pull this. Twist it and click that in. Okay, that side went in, so I just basically rotated it like that. But let's see if I can do that with this side now that that one's in. So basically pull this side out with your fingers and then push this, so basically we're bending it like that, and it will probably help to also bend this side. So maybe we need to have a finger pulling this while we're kind of doing that. But let's see, I'll try and just do this first. I'll push with my thumb and pull this out. Wow, that's tough. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that worked. I just had to use more force. Okay, so there we go. And yeah, hopefully you can see the cabling here. Alright, looks good. Not really anything getting in the way, you can see. Alright, and that looks good. Screen motion, plenty of room, plenty of extra cable, plenty extra slack, so it's not going to get damaged in the long run. And there we go. I think I'm going to like this. We'll see. I'll drive around with it for a bit. I think I do like this angle. Let me show you guys. Alright, so here you go. Let's turn these lights off. And you can see the difference now. Okay. Again, with the screen straight up, steering wheel in the same position. Okay. It's a bit higher. And I always like to drive with it slightly tilted back like this. And now if I turn on the signals, oops. Yeah, it's much better eye view. So this is better, easier for me to see. And if we were to turn on the rear camera, oh, can I not do that unless I'm in drive? So we'll put it on drive. And there we go. Yeah, nice, much higher view. All right, about an inch or so higher. Pretty good. All right, so that's it. Pretty sure this is going to be a lot more enjoyed by people. It doesn't lower it as much as before. It would be nice though, because as you can see, there's still a lot more dash, unless you're really short. I mean, if you're really short, then maybe I guess it can't go higher. But for me, I'm sitting up here. The screen could technically be another inch or two even higher. But yeah, and then if you're short, I guess you could always tilt it more like this. So then it won't be blocking your view. You see that? If you're like down here, like tilt it like that, and then you have that. Although if the sun is, well, actually, I don't know. I think the chance of the sun reflecting off it when it's like this is way less. So that shouldn't be an issue. All right, and there you go. Sorry for the annoying beeps, but thank you for watching. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Hopefully it helped you decide if you want to get one of these. Again, it also puts the screen even closer to you. So if you had trouble reaching it or something, it's even closer now. So to me, that's nice. Also, if you don't have good vision for further away, which I don't know if you should be driving if you can't see that far ahead of you. But this will also make it nicer for you. It's closer now. All right, there you go. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you on the next one. Again, if you're looking for this, CTMods or Test Studio, all right, again, I'll have a link in the description below so you can purchase this. They said they'll still have version 1 if you want the version where it's a little bit lower, the screen, and further against the dash. And then version 2, they said once they sell out with version 1, they're going to only be selling version 2. So if you really like the lower version, which I don't know if people prefer that one. I think a lot of people were saying they wanted it higher up. But if you do prefer the lower version, then now's your chance. Go buy that version. I do have this one now, which I don't know. We'll see what I do with it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave this one in here. I like this one more. But yeah, If you want, again, the lower version, now's the time to get it, because again, they said once they sell out of that first version, they're no longer going to supply that, and they'll only have this newer version where it's higher up. Okay, so there you go. Again, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped. Again, discount code in the description, link to get these, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.